Well, hello again everyone, and welcome back to the third part of this mini series on tips on motorcycle or scooter riding. In part one and part two we've gone through the basics, and we've looked at areas of riding that can get you out of trouble or help you negotiate traffic. So slow riding, getting on the bike, getting off the bike, slow riding, and stopping, putting your feet down, and vision. We recap on this later, but one of the things I want to demonstrate and show you, and it might be a little bit controversial, is that how many riders know where their blind spot is on the bike? Or are they aware they've got a blind spot on the bike? Can they see in front of them, and can they see behind them 360 degrees? I would suggest not. And there's a demonstration I could show you how to establish your blind spot so you know where to look. We all know as we pull off or we're preparing to pull off, we look over our shoulders just for a quick shoulder check, but we do that for a reason, because when we look in our mirror we don't see what's behind us or what's to the side of us, and it will surprise you how much you cannot see when you look in the mirror. So I'm going to give a little demonstration on how to establish your blind spot. Right, so what I was saying about the blind spot that most motorcyclists don't realise they have can be quite small or large depending on the vehicle or what machine we ride and the size of the mirrors. So I'm standing in front of my bike at the moment. My assistant is on the bike and she knows exactly what to do. Now I'm going to walk around, and this will depend on what helmet you use. An open face helmet, your vision is wider. On a closed faced helmet, the one with the chin goes around a full face helmet, the vision is restricted. So I'm going to walk around. She's looking, going down the road, and she's looking in front of me, and she should at any moment there, she can't see me. I've gone out of her peripheral vision, so she can't see me. So what I've done, I put a bottle of water on the floor. Now this is like in the next lane when running down the road. Now I'm going to walk around, and when she sees me in the mirror, her mirror, she's going to let me know. So she can see me now. And I put a bottle of water down. Now if I walk back here, and I will show you, that is the blind spot for her on this bike. And especially with electric vehicles nowadays, you will never hear the car actually following you or coming alongside you. So this distance, if I pace it out, is 1, 2, 3 meters. 3 meters long, which can hide a small car quite comfortably. And as I say, if it's an that demonstration was with an open faced helmet. If you ride with a full face helmet, the distance will increase because your peripheral vision is impaired by the helmet coming round the side of your face. Most motorcyclists don't know how to find their blind spot. So if you're watching this, you're privy to some information that a lot of riders don't know. You should always be aware of that blind spot. So when you adjust your mirrors, adjust them so they're out as far as they can go, but you can see behind you. When you pull away, that's why you do your shoulder checks to look at that blind spot. Because if a car's coming up the side of you, you just pull out or look in your mirror and pull out, you could pull into the path of that motor. So that's our blind spot and our rear view that we can see from the mirror. Now, just going forward, and I've touched on it before, when you're riding along the road, you need to look at the horizon. You need to look beyond the car that you're following. Now, if I turn the camera around, and you'll see in the foreground there a bottle of water. Now, if I look at that bottle of water and imagine it's the rear of the car I'm following, I can only see in my peripheral vision going forward the yellow or the silver truck in front. It's as far as I can see, but that's not in detail. I can just make out there's a car there. Now, if I raise my eyesight to the end of the car park here, I can see that bottle of water on the floor, and I can also see the leaves around it, and I can see the truck beyond that, and I can see the white car, and I can see the yellow truck at the end of the car park. And it gives me a greater view of where I'm going and reaction time if something happens in front of me. If I'm looking down at the floor and something happens, you've just reduced your reaction time to the space from the bottle to the front of this motorbike, which is in milliseconds. If something happens, you've got to see it, you've got to think about it, you've got to react to it, and by that you've hit the back of the car. So always keep your eyes as high as possible and judge and preempt what's going on in front of you. So there's another tip for you. You can try these out, and I hope you do, just to convince yourself that what I'm saying actually works. You need to try it, you need to demonstrate to yourself so you can get the perspective of space when you're moving along at speed. So, on a sort of a wrap up of what we've been talking about, eyes up. Keep your eyes up, looking down the road to preempt anything that happens 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in front of you, and it gives you time to react, gives you time to make adjustments to your riding, come to a standstill, because if you're looking at that bottle of water, the rear bumper of the car you're following, and something happens, you will certainly be hitting his car without a doubt. You cannot react quick enough to the car in front. You need to be looking 2, 3 cars in front of you to react. Number 2 tip, shoulder checks. As I've demonstrated, we on motorcycles have blind spots. We look in our mirrors and we think we can see behind us, but we don't get the full picture. We need to do the shoulder check to check that blind spot. If there's an electric car there following you and you want to change lane, and you change lane without doing a shoulder check, you could be putting yourself into his path, if he's going faster than you coming up the outside and you're in trouble. Moving on your scooter, keep your feet on the running board. Don't have them flying all around. It will unsettle the balance of the bike and you won't be able to control your bike as you should do or as intended, because the weight distribution is being altered all the time by your legs flapping around. So is when you come to a standstill when you're traveling at traffic lights or a T-junction, left foot down only. Don't put your right foot down. Your right foot should only be on the floor when you're starting off to give you stability, but when you're on your main journey and you're coming to traffic lights, you're coming to a T-junction, left foot down. Protect your right foot. Some of these drivers don't appreciate how close they can get and they may run over your foot. And if you are a beginner, novice rider and want to practice these techniques that I've explained to you, slow riding, find yourself a car park like I do. This one is an ideal location, spot to practice and develop and improve your riding skills.